I'm bored. You ever expect to hear that from me? I was talking to a friend recently and he asked how I was doing, and I said, I think I'm a little bored. He laughed and he said, I never thought I would hear that from you. I'm bored. There's nothing to do. That's what kids will say in the middle of the summer. That's not literally true, though. That's not actually true, is it? It's not that there's nothing to do. There's just nothing that interests them. I've been thinking about boredom. Just the other day, I did a devotion on Noah and the ark. What was that like for Noah? After the rain stopped, all those days, almost a year, a little under a year of just floating in the ark, waiting for it to land. He had no way of knowing how long this was going to go on. How did he fight the boredom? Boredom is not a problem with something to do. It's a problem with what interests us. Netflix, we have that at our home, and there are sometimes I'll go on Netflix, thousands of titles, and I'll look, and then finally I'll say, there's nothing on. That's not true. There's nothing on that interests me. One can be busy, but bored at the same time. You see, boredom is not the opposite of busyness. It's the opposite of interest. Boredom is not a thing to do problem. It's a interest problem. It's a joy problem. What brings happiness? What brings joy? What brings a sense of purpose to me? I read once, boredom is like the dashboard warning light on your car, indicating that your interest level in life, your interest level in things around you is running real low, and something is draining you of your joy. Be careful. Be careful that if that warning light of boredom comes up for you, be careful of where you seek to fill up, of where you seek to find happiness. The prophet Jeremiah said to the people, Jeremiah 2, verse 13, "For my people have committed two evils. They forsake me, the fountain of living water, to dig for themselves cisterns, vessels, wells, broken wells that can hold no water." That's the mistake we make sometimes, is that we go looking to fill up our emptiness, our hunger for happiness, with things that really can't satisfy, that can't hold water. That's the invitation of another prophet, Isaiah chapter 55. "Let everyone who thirsts come to the waters, and you who have no money, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money, without cost. Why do you spend your money for what's not bread, your wages for what cannot satisfy you? Listen carefully to me and eat what is good, and delight yourself in abundance." Where are you finding your joy these days? Where do you find your sense of purpose to get up in the morning? Listen carefully to your boredom. It's telling you something really, really important. Your boredom is a hunger. It's a hunger for happiness. It's a cry. It's a cry out that there's an emptiness that certain things can never fill. Don't keep feeding that emptiness, the junk food of easy entertainment or stimulation, or the most appealing of all things, a diet of selfish pursuits. Those are broken cisterns, and they'll never satisfy. If you accept the invitation of boredom to pursue what truly satisfies, it can lead you to a place where true joy is found. Jesus Christ says to you and to me, "I've come that my joy might be in you, and that you might have it to the full." And so it begins with searching in the Word, of being in prayer. I have over these weeks been sharing with you certain spiritual practices that can take sometimes the lethargy, the laziness of our soul, and awaken it. Have you heard of 7 deadly sins? One of those is slothfulness. But in the ancient writings, it was actually called acedia. Acedia is not so much a slothfulness, a laziness. Acedia is a spiritual lethargy, a spiritual depression, where you have no hunger, no thirst for things spiritual, where you have no desire to care or to listen to anybody. It's different than depression. I believe in these days it is a good time to whet our appetite on the living water of His Word. It is a good time for us to nourish ourselves in the bread of life by having some disciplined time in prayer, by being in the Word, by reaching out to help your neighbor. If there's something you've been thinking of doing, to write a note, to reach out to a neighbor. This is indeed where Christ is calling you. Christ is calling you to experience life, to experience joy to the full, and to satisfy that hunger of boredom. May that joy, that abounding joy, be yours and to those you love.